Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. I just want to share with you some things from this book. It's about intelligent design, and at the back of it, it gives you a list of the contributors. And one of the arguments against intelligent design, which I find preposterous, really, is that these intelligent design advocates are not scientists. They're not real scholars. They've not had anything published. They're not really scientific. They're not real scholars, etc. And I think this is a terrible indictment of atheists, that they would say these kind of things about the intelligent design movement. So I'm just going to read a number of advocates of intelligent design, look at their qualifications, and just look at what they've been writing. Wesley D. Allen is a senior research scientist and adjunct professor at the Center of Computational Chemistry at the University of Georgia. Dr. Allen received a BA in Chemistry and Physics from Vanderbilt University and a PhD in Theoretical Chemistry from the University of California, Berkeley in 1987. He served as assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Stanford University from 1988 to 1994. Before moving to his current position in the University of Georgia in 1995. Dr. Allen is an expert in fundamental theories and large-scale computational applications of molecular quantum mechanics. He has authored over 70 scientific research publications, most appearing on the Journal of Chemical Physics, as well as recent book chapter in Science, Christian Perspective of the New Millennium. Francis J. Beckwith is more of a philosopher, is Associate Director of J. Dawson's Institute of Church-State Universities, Associate Professor of Church-State Studies at Baylor University in 2002-2003, Madison Research Fellow in Politics at Princeton University. He has served in 2003 as a member of Princeton as a member of Princeton James Madison Society, is a graduate of Fordham University, PhD Philosophy, and holds the Master of Juridical Studies (MJS) degree from the Washington University School of Law in St. Louis. His books include To Everyone, An Answer, A Case for the Christian Worldview, etc. And he's written so much, that guy. Michael J.B. is a professor of Biological Sciences at Lay University in Pennsylvania. He received his PhD in Biochemistry from the University of Pennsylvania in 1978. In addition to publishing over 35 articles in revered biochemical journals, he has also written editorial features in Boston Review, American Spectator, and the New York Times. His book Darwin's Black Box discusses the implications for neo-Darwinianism of what he calls irreducible biological systems. The book was internationally reviewed in over 100 publications, and recently named by National Review and World Magazine as one of the 100 most important books of the 20th century. He is a senior fellow with Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture. Walter L. Bradley, PhD, is currently Distinguished Professor of Engineering at Baylor University. Previously he was Professor of Mechanical Engineering at Texas M University. There he served as department head for 67 professors and 1,500 students from 1989 to 1993. He also served as the director of Texas University of Polymer Technology Center from 1986 to 1990 and 1994 to 2000. He received more than $5 million in research contracts from government agencies such as NSF, NSA, NASA, DOE, and OFOSO, and from major corporations such as DuPont, Shell, etc. He has published more than 145 technical articles in archived journals and conference proceedings, and has book chapters. He was honored by being elected a Fellow of the American Society for Materials in 1992. He has received 1 national and 5 local research awards and 2 local teaching awards. He has co-authored seminal work on the origin of life titled The Mystery of Life's Origin, etc. David Belinsky received his PhD in philosophy from Princeton University and was later a postdoctoral fellow in mathematics and molecular biology at Columbia University. He has authored works on systems analysis, differential typology, theoretical biology, and analytical philosophy and the philosophy of mathematics. In addition, he has held research fellowships at the International Institute for Applied System Analysis, etc. J. Budzweski, PhD, Yale, 1981, Professor of Government and Philosophy at the University of Texas at Austin. He's a political theorist and philosopher of natural law. His recent work focused on the repression of moral knowledge, what we really know, how we tell ourselves that we don't know what we do, etc. A fellow of the Wilberforce Forum as well as a Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture. He is also chair of the board of directors of the Institute for Religion and Democracy. His articles have appeared in journals of law, ethics, theology, public policy, and political theory, and his academic work includes The Resurrection of Nature, and there's a whole list of his books that he's written. William A. Dembski is the Carl F. Henry Professor of Theology and Science at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, where he directs the seminary's Center for Science and Theology. He is also a senior fellow with the Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture in Seattle. A mathematician and philosopher, Dembski previously directed Baylor University's Michael Polanyi Center. He has done postdoctoral work in mathematics at MIT, in physics at the University of Chicago, and in computer science at Princeton University. He has been awarded the Templeton and NSF research grants, a graduate of the University of Illinois at Chicago, where he earned a BA in psychology, MS in statistics, and PhD in philosophy. He also received a doctorate in mathematics from the University of Chicago in 1988 and a Master of Divinity degree from Princeton Theological Seminary in 1996. Dembski has published articles in mathematics, philosophy, theology journals, and is author or editor of 10 books. The Divine Inference, Eliminating Chance Through Small Probabilities, etc. Cambridge University Press. He examines the divine argument in a post-Darwinian context. Phil E. Johnson is the Jefferson Emeritus Professor of Law at the University of California, Berkeley. Professor Johnson is a well-known speaker and writer on the philosophical significance of Darwinianism. His book on the topic include Darwinian on Trial, etc. After completing his law degree at the University of Chicago, Johnson was a law clerk for Chief Justice Earl Warren at the United States Supreme Court. Johnson taught law for over 30 years at the University of California, Berkeley. He is the author of 2 widely used textbooks on criminal law case, etc. Johnson entered the evolutionary controversy because he found the books defending Darwinianism dogmatic and unconvincing. Professor Johnson is advisor to Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture. David J. Keller received his PhD in biophysical chemistry at the University of California, Berkeley, for research on physical chemistry of DNA and the theory of circularly polarized light scattering. He was awarded an NIH postdoctoral fellowship at Stanford University for work on the theory of phase transition in lip membranes. He is current associate professor of chemistry at the University of Mexico, where his research focuses on understanding biological molecular machines, especially DNA, etc. Stephen C. Mayers, senior research fellow at the University at the Discovery Institute and director of Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture. Formerly geophysicist and with Atlantic Richfield Company, Mayer completed his PhD dissertation in History and Philosophy of Science at Cambridge University and Origin of Life Biology and the Methodology of Historical Sciences. He has contributed several scholarly anthologies, including The History of Science and Religion in the Western Tradition, an Encyclopedia Darwinism, Science of Philosophy of Pandas and People, the central question in biological origins, and all the work that he's done is immense. Scott A. Minnick is a microbiology professor at the University of Idaho. Received his PhD in microbiology at Idaho State University. He pursued postdoctoral studies at Purdue and Princeton universities in molecular genetics and molecular biology, and has published in scientific journals. That's just a small sample of these intelligent design scholars, some biologists, some chemists, some philosophers of science and philosophy of public, of ethics, etc. There's one thing that you cannot doubt here. We're talking high caliber intellectuals, eminent in their fields, and it's just not right for atheists to say these intelligent design people are not really up to the mark. I'll put a link to the Discovery channel, the Discovery website, and there you can have a look at the qualifications and the research material of some of these scientists. And I hope this has dispelled some prejudice towards the intelligent design. I hope, Aaron Ra, you study these people, and I hope people who look to Aaron Ra on evolution on YouTube, that you will start to look to the Discovery Institute and look at what they've got to say, because I think they're being attacked and lambasted, and I don't think it's fair to the real scholarship that they actually are engaging in, and that's a fact. Thank you for listening. God bless you.